Alright, so I've been in a channel strip plugin mood lately. So last week I reviewed the Waves SSL V2 channel strip. And today we're going to be looking at the kit plugins BB N105, which is really completely different. So if you want to hear how this matches up to that SSL plugin and just how it sounds in general, stick around after this introduction. Welcome everybody, I'm Dan Spencer and I am the Audio Sorcerer. So this is the channel where I teach you how to perfect your audio recording, mixing, and mastering skills. So before we get to the video, make sure you guys smash that like button. Please subscribe and hit that notification bell to know when I have new videos coming out. So without further ado, today we're talking about Kit Plugins BB N105 channel. So this is the Blackbird N105. And this model's a Neve 8078 console, which is a very, very famous console, okay? So many famous records, as you can see, were made on this console. We have Taylor Swift, we have Beck, we have The Killers, we have Dolly Parton, we have Martina McBride, and the list goes on, okay? So this is actually their version 2 of this plugin, and if we scroll down, you can see that these are some of the new features that were added to it. So it says that the console frequency response was accurately sampled from 20 Hz to 96 kilohertz. They've added a auto gain to it, and that's going to allow for the fader level to adjust when you essentially adjust the mic pre-level on it. So you're getting proper gain staging. Then you also have continuous gain, which optionally removes the notch movement of the mic pre-gain, giving you more control of gain level. And they've also updated how the numbers are displayed when you add or subtract EQs. And then they've also updated the GUI. It's now resizable and 3D-ish. They have fader colors. You can change the fader color between black, silver, red, blue, and teal. They have oversampling. You go between 4x, 8x, and 16x. And of course, the higher you get, the more CPU intensive it's going to be. And then lastly, they have 100 plus presets in several different genres of music. So those are all of the version 2 updates. So I just want to say that Tavin over at Kit Plugins actually sent me this plugin to try out. And for this review / tutorial, these are all my own opinions. So I just want to get that out of the way. And in this tutorial, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you what the plugin looks like and how it actually works. And then I actually mixed a song with it, and we're going to listen to what it sounds like bypassed and then of course enabled, so you can kind of hear the difference. And then we're also going to hear what it sounds like compared to the new Waves SSL EV2, because I actually mixed the same song that I did for that video, which I have popping up the top right corner now. So if you guys are interested in the SSL Waves EV2, check out that video after this one. So after watching this video, hopefully you'll be able to decide whether this is a plugin that you want to add to your collection or not. And if you guys end up wanting to add it, I do have a link in the description below where you can go purchase it. With that being said, let's get further into this video and let's look at the user interface of the BB N105 channel. Alright, so here we are in Pro Tools and I got the Blackbird N105 plugin open here. So starting on the top left here, this is our mic pre-knob. So currently it is deactivated because I have line selected. Now if I switch this over to mic, it is now activated. Now I also have auto gain selected, so when I move this, it's going to move this fader also. So watch this. So as I move it, it goes down. So that's allowing us to keep our proper gain staging. Okay, so let me put this back online. Next we have our saturation. You can either have this on or off, and this is the analog console saturation. So I pretty much always want this on, so I leave it on all the channels. Below that, we have our 4 bands of EQ. So the top one can either be a shelf or a bell, and the same with the bottom one here. So very similar to an SSL EQ. So I will say that these EQs here, they are much more sensitive than an SSL EQ. So you don't need as much of a movement to get what you want. Okay, so just keep that in mind when you're adjusting them. And then down here, this is our high pass and low pass filter all built into one, and they're controlled by these two different knobs here. You got the actual knob and like a little switch beneath it here. Okay, and I should mention that here, when you want to change the frequencies on any of these 4 bands of EQ here, you have this little white switch here that you can move between the frequencies. Okay, and of course the actual knob itself adjusts how much you want or how much you want to subtract of that particular frequency. Okay, and beneath that, this is our phase button here, so you can invert the phase if you want to. And this is our EQ enable button. If I want to take the EQ out, I can simply disable it by doing that. And then over here, we can actually introduce some analog hum into the signal, and we can set the level with this knob here. I actually don't really use the hum, but you can if you want to. And then here, this is your actual channel fader. Essentially, it's the output level of this plugin. And then up here, we have what we talked about earlier. We mentioned auto gain, continuous, and then we also have the fader button here, which actually changes the color of the fader, as you can see here. And then if we click options, this is where you get your oversampling here. I currently have it on 8x. And then if we click the drop down menu here, this is where all of our presets are at. And you can actually see them based upon genres here, okay? So pretty much that is everything there is to the control side of this plugin. The last thing I want to mention is if you hit the little icon here with the question mark, this will actually launch the user guide, okay? So as you guys know, I love plugins that have user guides in them. So if you want to learn more about this plugin beyond what I'm teaching you, definitely read the user guide. So now that you know what this plugin has in it and what it does, let's actually listen to what it sounds like. And we're going to start with this mix here, Bypassed. And this song is a song called Getaway that I wrote. So we'll start with it bypassed, and then I'll bring it in. And on the third time, it's going to be the Waves SSL EV2. Okay, so with that being said, let's give it a listen. All right, so that was my comparison between the BB N105 and the Waves SSL EV2. They're obviously very different plugins. So the BB N105 does not have a compressor in it. It is strictly just a channel strip with EQ and some saturation and just the overall console analog emulation. So the Waves SSL has a lot of stuff in it, including a compressor. So with that being said, I had to put some other compressors in my BB N105 mix, and I used an SSL compressor. I used some of the virtual mix rack stuff. So that's kind of how I achieved the mix beyond the BB N105. So I'm not going to tell you which one I like best. That is for you guys to decide. I don't want to push you guys in one direction or the other. But I will say, if you guys do end up liking this plugin, I do have a link in the description below where you guys can go purchase it. And if you guys end up liking this video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe so I'm making this content for you, and hit that notification bell to know when I have new videos coming out. And if you guys like this video, since this plugin does not have a compressor in it, why don't you check out my video on the Mixland and rubber band compressor and potentially look at adding that to your collection. And with that being said, I will see you guys later, and peace out.